Hello, everyone, and welcome to the DogSportPlanet podcast, where we explore the exciting world of dog sports with the top athletes, trainers, and professionals from every corner of the canine sports world. I'm Philippe, your host, and I'm thrilled to kick off this series with a true legend in the dog sports world. Anel Dzafic, hello, and welcome to the DogSportPlanet podcast.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much for coming on. A little bit of a delay on the podcasting. Sorry, some technical issues on my side. You actually don't need a real introduction for mondioring fans, but maybe for people from other sports, that might be good to give a little bit of an introduction about yourself. I will already start with Anel is a former world champion mondioring and internationally recognized coach. He is known for not only his achievements in competition, but also his incredible training philosophy and ability to bring out the best in every dog he works with. Anel, please introduce yourself to the people.
Okay. First, thank you for the invitation for the podcast. I'm happy that we do this. I'm Anel Dzafic. I'm born in Bosnia. I live in Austria. Passion is mondioring. Yeah, I have 3 children. What should I say?
Yes,
The rest you
please.
already said. So
Yes, exactly. But thank you very much for this little brief introduction, because I'm going to ask you so many questions. People are going to get to know you anyway. Let's start with your story, Anel. You are based in Austria, but I'd love to hear about your early days. What was the thing that first got you into mondioring, and how was the journey like from those early experiences to becoming a world champion? Where did it all start?
yeah, it all starts with the passion for dogs. So all people what do mondioring, they like the animals, they like the dogs. So when I buy my first dog, it was a pit bull terrier. It was not a Malinois, and yes, I start to be interested how what they can learn, how they learn, and how much you can teach them. So I become fast the passion to learn more about what the dog can learn and how fast it can be and everything. And then I start to be interested in different sports. And I saw mondioring. I looked for a group in Austria where I can have a look and where I can go. And I go to Armin Reutmeier. It's an Austrian guy. He do long time. He do mondioring. And there I start. After that, I buy my first Malinois, and then I start mondioring.
Okay. So could we say that this Armin is one of your mentors or influences early on who helped shape your path?
Yes, of course. He say me everything. Which exercise we have, what exercise, what the dog should do, what is a minus, what not, what is good, what is not good. So his dog was the first dog where I put the suit to make stick attacks and flea attacks and has the transport. And so I come into it. He showed me a lot.
Can you share a bit about your first dog and how that went, your introduction with that first dog in the mondioring? How did that go?
It was a female out of IGP lines. And yeah, I do many mistakes, too much drive and stuff, less control later and stuff. We all know these problems.
Yes.
Yeah. And when she was 2.5, I sold her and I thought where was the mistakes, why the problems was, why the less control, where it comes from. And I make my lessons, make my plan, and then I buy Max. Start my own idea how to train and to avoid the mistakes.
Yes. So when you got Max after your first dog, you made quite some mistakes. You have learned out of those mistakes. And obviously with that next dog, you became a world champion.
Yes.
Right? Tell us something about Max, like what exactly about Max made him the dog that he actually was. Everybody knows how Max was. He's still a great dog. But can you make a resume for us, show us what did you see in Max from an early age, and how did that progress into the dog that he became?
Yes, Max was a very confident dog from a young age. When I took him as a puppy, he was always confident. He never had problems in the daylight when we walk somewhere. So that's a big plus what you have when you have by a dog. So you don't must show him things, you save a lot of time and you can go forward with the exercises to make it faster and to become the program, So this is the biggest plus what I had by Max, that he was very confident and brave. So of course the bite and the speed and everything, but this is more or less, it's not that important in a sense.
Yes.
But when you have a dog who have no problems with accessory, no problem when he come to other field where he never was, Then you have much easier training. And then you don't
Yes.
must waste your time to show the dog the feel and show the dog the accessories and the different apports. The dog have not a problem with it. It's just go.
Yeah, it makes the whole process easier, doesn't it?
Yes.
So then after Mex, after you became a world champion, you played at the FMBB in Romania. The best moment, the best event of
For
my
you.
life until
Yeah.
now. Yes, until now. You ended up second place with the Mex, and then after that, Mex left for the Philippines. And what then? Like, what goes on in your mind? Like now you have to start over again with a puppy because you go from being a world champion to being again a rookie, basically, right?
Yeah. It's like when you become a new dog, you are like a beginner. You start and new dog, everything is different. And of course, if you have your ideas, you have your plan, strategy, but it don't always fit 100%. So you must
No.
change and adapt. And sometimes you really feel like a beginner and you think for hours how to fix it, how to where the problem come from. So it was, but that's what is interesting for me to build up the dog, to train the dog. Just when it's finished, the product, so the training and everything, then just to repeat it and repeat it for me, it's not interesting anymore.
Yes.
And that's why I stopped with Max and I sold him on a good place. Of course, I looked that he still continue and competing and everything. But for me, as I say, it was like just I go to the training, he do all good, what to work on, you understand?
Yes. Yes. I know what you mean. So then after Mix, you get into a new adventure, and now the dog you have currently, it's actually in reality is still a puppy. It's not the adult dog yet. But tell us about Rasputin, the process of the new dog you get, Rasputin. I remember like the last time I saw him, he was 10 months old. Now he's like, how old is he?
1 year and 5 months.
So that
Year and
is 7 months ago, right? About 7 months ago, the last time I saw him, and now he's competing category three. You
yeah,
went from 1 to 3 in, I don't know, faster than I can blink my eyes and
yeah.
doing it well. But tell us about how did you get Rasputin?
Rasputin, it was a funny story. I already make a post about of the story. I go to look puppies in Czech Republic, and it was two puppies, two males from Kamzak. Then I choose one puppy, I put it in the car, and I go to the breeder to take the passport and the stuff. And the breeder asked me, "Hey, do you have time? She have a puppy from the last litter. It was just one puppy, one male. This was Rasputin, and he's 3.5 months. If I have time to let him give him a bite." I say, "Yes, no problem. Bring him." And she bring the dog and give me a sleeve. And the dog never had bite her before. She just played with him with a string on it in the biting sleeve. And I show it the puppy, put the sleeve on the arm and let him bite, and it was amazing. It felt great. Very confident, very dominant, very full bite and calm. So I say to the breeder, now I want this dog or I don't buy any. And then after some discussions and try to convince her, she manage it, and then I go home with Rasputin.
Yes. Then you come home with a new puppy. What do you start with? When you get Rasputin, like what is the process of the beginning, the very foundation, the very basics of what you do with your puppy? Explain this to the audience, please.
Yes, I start first with the recall. So to call him back, to call him to me, that's the first exercise. The breeder take good care of Rasputin, so he was a little bit chubby and not that much hungry, but we fixed it, and then we start the recall and the healing position. That is the first one I start to come to me and to make the heel, because with this all start. After this, I start with the sit and wait and the down and stand, stay and wait. Yeah. And then you continue. You look how to mix it, what is easy for the dog, because for some dogs is this is easy, and for some is this. So then I look to every training. So I train 3 times, 4 times a day. And then every training I do one exercise what is tricky and difficult for the dog, and the rest he become his food by doing stuff what is easy for him, going on the fence for the send away, or making it down, or making it come and in the heel position or something. And that's how I mix it. I always start with something different, and always only one exercise what is difficult for the dog, and then the rest I make it funny with the stuff what he know and what is easy for him to do.
Yeah. People that know you know that you have some similarities in your philosophy when it comes to training exercises with the Belgian ring traditional trainers. That is, showing all the exercises of the whole program from a young age. That means not waiting with the object guard until the dog is in category 2, or not waiting with stopped attacks until he's mature, let's say. You basically start with showing the whole program little by little, but showing the whole program to the dog. Is that correct?
Yes, of course. Because I don't believe really that the dog becomes mature with the age, you know. I believe that it becomes mature if it's needed to become mature. If it's not needed, you can have a puppy with 3 years and you still behave like a puppy because he don't need to be serious and then look for his food and stuff.
Yep.
That's why I just put the dog in the exercises. And as I say, when I see, oh, this is difficult for him, then I take a look more for this exercise, and the others, what is anyway easy for him, I just do like funny part. And then we concentrate again of this, what is difficult for him. So I balance it that it grows together, you understand? So I make in this side what is easy, I make the repetitions. In the same side, I train the stuff what is difficult to become same easy like the other.
Correct. I remember when I saw him the last time, he was 10 months old and he was doing the whole program and he was doing it nicely. We were training in Austria on the way to the FMVB in Italy. And I saw the dog, and first of all, he didn't at 10 months, he was big already. He was quite a big dog for his age, nice body and everything. But you expect, or let's say in general, people expect the dog is 10 months old. He's still a puppy. He's still young. No, your dog was doing the whole program from A to Z, almost flawless, right? So I believe actually that this is something I'm stepping away from for myself, and I'm also showing the whole program much earlier than I would do with, for example, with my previous dog, where I made the decision to do the object guard, let's say the finished product, very late, but already the mechanics when he was a puppy. Then when he had the mechanics, I stopped doing it and focused on the exercises that I would need for category 1 and category 2, which now in hindsight, I believe it was a waste of my time. I should have done immediately from a young age, just like we do in NVBK, in Belgian Ring. We have the guard in the lowest category and we have a stopped attack in the lowest category. Just the difficulty, basically, in NVBK lowers, like the guard is very, like there's not a lot of variation to it. It's very straightforward, so it's clear for the dog what is going on. It's a learning process, right? Because only the highest category counts, basically.
Yeah. That's also my goal, to have all exercises as soon as possible. And I think that the people say, I will do it later because they are not sure if they should do it, if it's right to do it in a young age. For me, it's logic that the most difficult exercises I want to teach first because I need repetitions. You understand? You just become a safe exercise after you have repetitions. So when I teach the object, after with 18 months, I start the object and I want to go with 2.5. So I have 1 year just for repetition. Then I start it. When I teach it already with 6 months, that the dog know different objects to stay on it, to play with the tag, to go there and he bite and he out when I go away and this stuff, and he just play. Then I can make a lot of repetition in different objects, show him the accessories and everything. And then, because it is the most difficult exercise.
Yes.
Same with the flea attack. I said, you spoke one time, I think in Greece, as I told you, I start first with the stop attack because that's the difficult one. The bite, he anyway will do.
Then to continue on that, on the same subject, you presented your dog after doing the BH. You presented your dog in category 1. That went very well, I would say.
Yeah.
You basically,
yes,
that is correct. But in general, the things he did them like with flying colors. That was beautiful. But tell us, like, what was your idea behind going from category 1 to category 3, like in a matter of months?
Yeah, I just do the category 1 because I must do it in a sense to go. So I said, otherwise I would immediately go in cat 3 and starting cat 3. Why to waste the time, So it's cat 1 and 2 is just to become in cat 3. So it's nothing to stay there and be there 1 season or one year or 2 years. So the whole program is in the cat 3. That's mondioring. So the rest is there.
Sure. Now, mondioring is such a unique and challenging sport. For listeners or viewers who might be new to it, can you give us an overview of what makes it different from other protection sports?
Yeah, the difference is that what I like the most is that it's never the same. The exercises, sometimes you start with the upport, sometimes you start with the send away, with the foot refusal. So it's always mixed. The obedience part, the jumps, the bite, the protection exercises, it's all always mixed. I never go to a competition and the next competition was same. Listen,
Yes.
the constellation of the exercises. That I like the most. So it's very challenging. The field, the people who organize a competition, they always have nice ideas, nice teams, and to say, okay, today we make Christmas, then we make rally, then we make Halloween or stuff, and it's very nice for the dog. I don't like when it's a schema. That also creates problems, and then you cannot test the dog because the dog when he do something 3 times, you already know the next step. He come on the field, and when you start it, you know, oh, this will be the next. So it also creates problems, and it gives safety to the dogs. So also not so good dogs can look good, you understand, or can manage the program good. But in this case, like in mondioring, it's not so easy, and the dog is afraid or something.
Yes. That mondioring involves a range of skills, right? How do you balance preparing a dog for obedience, jumps, and protection work all at the same? How do you balance that out?
For example, is I'm looking for the dog what he need right now. You understand? If I see it's not a problem for the dog to do obedience, jumps, and then bite work, then I just do it how it should be. You understand? Then I see the dog. Oh, okay, after the fifth, sixth exercise, he already start to look where are the decoys. You understand? Then I give him a bite, one attack, or then I do some object, for example, or a defense, and then I continue with the obedience part. And so I start to mix it. After 2 exercises, I do maybe one attack, so it becomes not so special. When he see the schema, I just cut the schema and I change the constellation of the exercise. So the dog always must be look ready and looking at me, orientating on me, what will be next. Then that's how I presentate it the dog. And for the dog, it's always how it is.
What do you think makes a great mondioring dog? Is there a certain temperament or characteristic that you think is necessary? Like without that, you cannot have a great mondioring dog.
I think the confidence of the dog is the most important, that you have a very, very confident dog. Then the bite and everything is the second place, understand? Because the dog, when he's confident, he will bite. The problems in the bite just start when the dog is not confident, to start to pull because he wants to go away or something. So for me, the most important is that the dog is confident and calm. He is himself, not manipulated all the time by the drive or something, chasing something, running around and being nervous. That is not good because the dog himself cannot control it. And how we should control it. So we buy something and then we try to just to handle it somehow. But to really control it is much, much more difficult because, as I say, the dog himself is not even able to control it 100%.
Correct. Anel, you're known as a fantastic coach. Like if I ask anybody, or for example, when I made the post that we are going to do a podcast, which is actually a while ago, I'm sorry for that, people. You are known as a fantastic coach. Everybody just says it. But besides that, you are a competitor yourself. And your training approach, it has become pretty popular because I have noticed people are doing stuff that the way you do, or they come train with you. There must be a reason for that. So can you tell us about your training philosophy? Like what are the core principles you believe in when you're working with dogs?
Yes, I believe in it that you must make that what you want for the dog, what is out of your perspective, the right behavior, you must make it to the dog's priority. Then the dog will do it with full motivation and he don't want to do a mistake. Yes, and of course it can happen that the dog by the upport goes before the horn, but it's okay. He still want to do the right. He's not going to jump around, go to bring this. You understand what I mean?
Yes, of course.
When it's his priority, he's focused on the right thing. So for me, it's not a mistake if he would go before the horn. Of course, you lose point, but the dog don't care about the point. And for us, also, it should not be that important to be mad or sad or something when a problem like this happens, because the dog still wants to do the right.
Yes. Besides that, what are other kinds of principles, very important pillars in your training system?
Principles are, yes, one of the things is that I make the dog tired. Many people don't like, and I had a lot of discussions because of this, but I think that the dogs are, when you have a good dog, the dog wants to bite, then he bites out of the prey drive, he go to chase, to catch. So this is really difficult because the dog is very, very tough and have a very good condition in this drive. So to learn to still, when you have the dog on a certain level of drive, it's difficult for the dog to learn. Then he can react in the situation, what his drive say or his instinct, but to really learn it, he cannot. When he's tired, it's much, much easier for him to learn because the drive is on the side. He say, now I must relax. And then the dog, I know the dog is more himself. And then he can really learn what to do. And later I can ask it in the drive too. First I learn to drive and then I can do it maybe with 5 years old.
Yes. I like that analogy, by the way. I've heard you say that before, and I like it's a nice comparison. Right? In training, for you, what are some of the biggest challenges you tend to face, and how do you overcome them?
Biggest challenge in this training is, I think, the jumps. The jumps are when you go too fast, too high, and then you can destroy it, but you later have long, or many times you struggle with this problem. If you go too fast, too high, and the dog becomes not sure or something, and because every jump is a risk to injury, you understand, when the dog is injured. So naturally the dogs avoid jumps because the jumps is a risk to injury. When he's injured, he will die in the nature, the wolf. And so that's why the dogs are in the beginning very careful when they should jump, or if they should jump. And if you go too fast, too high, and the mistake happen, that the dog injure himself or hurt himself or just become afraid of the voice when something drop, then later you can have a big problem. Fix it again.
Yes, I agree.
That's the difficult time to decide for me. Okay, now we go up, we make it higher. Now we go on maximum or something. Because also when you stay too long on 80 centimeters, for example, then this becomes for the dogs. When he have the repetitions, then this become the exercise. And then when you make it on 1 meter for the dog is different. And many people don't believe it because it's just 20 centimeters. But when you have half year, you do just 80 centimeters, then this become the exercise. You understand?
Yes.
Then it's a problem. You understand? When you go up, dog say, then he avoid it. You say no, you make it again. The dog becomes unsafe, not sure because you say no already one time, and that can make a problem.
And how do you approach building focus and engagement with the dog? When we are in training for mondioring specifically, then everybody has their own way of building focus, handler focus, and engagement. I mean, the engagement is the connection with handler. How do you go about this?
I teach the dog that we go together, so I don't ask the dog to look me all the time, and the focus is just I take the attention when I need it, and that's by the preparation. So I teach the dog to hold the contact, as almost everybody do it, to lean on, and so he can know even when he not look at me, when I stop, when I move, when I go, where I go. And later, when I stop, he must sit, and then when I say his name, he look at me. That's where I take his attention. So that's the main thing what I'm focused on. Because I don't want to have the dog in stress between the exercises, when he must look at me or something. I feel for the dog it's stressy. When he hear a dog barking by the fence or a dog is growling and he cannot look because he must look at me. For me, I think it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of stress for the dog because he maybe thinks, oh, something dangerous is because the dog is barking behind him or growling. So when he's just leaning on, he can look, he can watch, he can say, okay, this dog is far away, no problem.
Yeah. And being a champion, it means you've performed at a high level under pressure. Everybody who has competed in the high level or on a world stage knows that it comes with some form of pressure. How do you prepare yourself? Your dog probably doesn't need preparation for the pressure because we as handlers, we are usually the ones that feel that kind of pressure, right? But how do you prepare yourself for your dog competitions personally?
I try to stay curious. And when I go with a curiosity in the field and the training or on the competition, then for me it's easier, you understand? Because it's not something that I want to prove it to somebody or something. Then I curious for me if my training work how I think it works, should work, instead of how it's planned. When I manage it somehow to stay in this mind, then it's for me it's no stress. I don't have stress, and then to go in the field. But if it's something tricky in the program and you think, did he know it? It's a long time ago when he the last time doing upward like this. When you start to think about the moment and about the exercises, you become stressed a little bit, of course. But then I say to myself, what he know, he know. What he don't know, we will see. Just stay curious and let's go. Let's see it. I cannot wait. And then I think about this, then I cannot wait to go to take the dog and go inside to see what we have, if we need to train more or not.
I know that you have a specific ritual, a specific routine you have on competition days. People that know you know it also. I found out in Romania at the FMBB World Championship because I was waiting for you to enter. I think 45 minutes or something before you were going in. I was trying to find you around the field and you were nowhere to be found. And I was asking people, no, don't know. Then I asked one of the Austrian guys, Naim, and he said, oh, don't worry, he went with the dog on his bike. I'm like, what? Now? Before the competition? Then you arrived and then you went away with the dog again, and the dog was all the time running. This is basically your ritual, right, on competition days before, because as you said before, you train in these circumstances, so you recreate the circumstances on competition days. Is that correct?
Yes, of course. Of course. It's also for me, for my to feel comfortable is to take the dog the first energy, you understand, the craziness, you understand, because when he's too excited, their mistakes happen and the dog don't even realize that it was a mistake. You understand?
Yeah.
Because it was a reaction or something. And this I want to avoid. And when I know, okay, I drive 5-6 kilometers, then I make few sprints and whatever. I come back, my dog is calm, relaxed, he's satisfied, and he say, okay, now we do what you want. You understand?
Yes.
So that when I have this feeling, then I'm comfortable on the competition and I'm curious.
I liked what you said also, because the dog is satisfied. And well, let's not go into scientific terminology for this. We don't need that, but I believe in satisfying the needs of your dog. And
Yes.
if we manage to satisfy the needs of the dog is more than happy to satisfy our needs, right? This is something that goes both ways.
Of course. That's when you must just stop the dog putting his priorities over your priorities. And over the exercises. And that you stop when you satisfy him. And you say, okay, I'm happy, I'm not hungry, I was moving, I was running, I was sleeping, I was on the, and then I was to pee and to shit. Then I become a good feeling that my dog say, okay, I'm happy, now we go. It's easier for him to follow and to be obedient.
Yes. Now, we know that you have been coaching people a lot. People come from all over the world, literally come and train with you. You have actually a very nice field, which I have not been to yet. When we trained in Austria, we were training at your field before, like at Naim's field.
Yeah.
I have seen the pictures and the videos from your field, and I really, really feel like jumping over and bring my dogs and have a blast, like a long weekend from Friday till Monday training. But this is what people very often do. People come to you or you come to people and train. And actually, I've noticed a rise in the performances of people that come training with you. As a coach, how do you go, like coach? When I say coach, I mean like somebody that gives advice and that's helping and etc. How do you go about handling people from different cultures with different types of dogs? How is that going?
I think the most important thing is when people come that we put away the ego. People must know from the first minute they don't must prove something to somebody on the field, and nobody is here to judge them. So it's about the dog. We look where the dog have problems, where not, and we together make a plan how we can fix the the problems of the dog. So because it's not, of course, it's our problem, but in the moment when we put the dog, because the dog is working, you understand? The dog makes the apport. The dog, so it's us the problem because we lose the points, but it's the dog's problem somehow, in a sense.
Yes.
In the And so we must together try to fix it. And when the people feel that they don't must prove it, that nobody is judging them, that it's all about the dog, everybody is focused on the dog to look to fix the problem, then the people start to be comfortable, understand?
Yes.
Then it's much,
I
much easier.
believe the atmosphere in a training group must be good. To have quality training, there must not be any, like you say, ego tripping, and also no hidden agendas, no bad talking, bad mouthing other people's work. We don't do that. I also know this out of experience. When I talk to you, you never talk bad about other people's work. You may think
No.
it, but you don't speak bad about other people's work. You can criticize technique and stuff like that, but not like personal attacks. And I think this is what makes you so loved by, because I know a lot of people that actually come and train with you, and there are at least from 6-7 different countries, and they all say the same. When you go to Anel, it's a nice atmosphere. We have lamb on the bonfire and nice drinks and great quality training. We don't chat around during training. We talk afterwards when we are having dinner all together. Then that's when we discuss. We don't waste time during training. We just work, fix, do things, and then when there's criticism or when there's feedback, when there's information, it's given in a better atmosphere, let's say, not in the heat of the moment.
Yes. Because when you have your dog on the field and you train with him, and then the trainer come like a dictator and say, "Oh, do this now, do this now." It's not possible to do it in the moment, understand? Because you think of the dog, then the dog make a problem or don't make it how you think. Then you start to think why the dog do it. So this is the first wrong thing. I don't think when I do the training and my dog do a mistake, I think after that. I don't think in the moment why is it. It's not the time for it. And then you don't have the time. The dog cannot lay down 15 minutes until I think what to do or whatever. Understand? I just say, okay, I see the mistake. I say, okay, I must think about this. I do the next exercise. If it's a big problem, I do maybe 2 exercises. I don't do everything. I put the dog away. Then I sit down, drink a coffee, and think about the problem. What should I do? Then we can speak. But in the moment, it starts to be because you are disappointed somehow why this don't work. Then somebody says something. Then you have a other opinion, then a third opinion. And then it becomes a mess. And the dog is still next to you and want to work. You understand? So
yes,
better let's speak, make a plan. When we come on the field, we work on this, on this, on this, on this. When this happened, we do this. When this happened, we do this. So it's no surprises. Everything is controlled. And when everything is controlled and everybody is confident, then the dog can trust us. And then when the dog feels that we don't know what to do and we do something, then the dog say, "Oh, this guy I cannot trust. It's the wrong point for information. I take the information of my drive, the prey drive or something." Then he do what he drives it.
Which is usually not
Which
good
is
for
normally
us.
not good.
No. I'm sure that our listeners and viewers would love to hear some stories about your time in competition. Like, can you share any memorable moments from a competition or even a funny incident? I will talk also about a funny incident, but something that
I
you
know
have.
which incident. Yes. I know.
But like, describe for us some of the most beautiful moments and maybe also a funny moment that you have had in competition with one of your dogs.
One of my dogs with Max in Romania, for example, by airport. I had a funny moment. It was a very tricky airport. It was just a gummy like this, and I throwed it, and the dog ran, and he take the first thing what was in their direction, and because you don't see it in the grass. Then he take it and come back and looking. He offered me the thing, and I just don't do nothing. And it was lucky that Max had a routine, and he say, "Oh, when he don't do nothing, when he don't look at me, it must be wrong." And then he turn around, he go and then he search with the smell or what I was touching, and then he bring it, and it still was in the time in the 15 seconds, But it was very funny how he come and he looked at me, and then what should I do? He just look, this is happening. Many funny moments. But it's also good. It makes you laugh a little bit in the competition. Then the stress goes away.
Yes.
So
it's also nice to see that actually by your body language, the dog has reset his brain. He said, no, he's not taking it. This is the wrong thing. Actually, that's really, really beautiful to see.
Yeah, I do it with looking.
Yes.
I do it
yes.
with the looking. When I look the dog, it's the right thing. And if I ignore him, he must continue or he should continue.
Yeah.
So he can make me react and continue the process, to start to play with him or whatever.
And with Rasputin, any of those memorable moments in this short career that he's had until now?
Yes, Rasputin is still young, and by 2 competitions already, I sent him by the send away, and he is running, and I don't know why. He just stopped and look at me, but not. He just look up. What you say? Like what you say something, and I look at him and I just say, I repeat the command, and he just do it straight, completely out of it. And by the category 3, it happened the same, but not after 10, 20 meter, after 5 meter. Just run and stop and look at me. What? And then I repeat the command, and he just there he show me, and he run again straight. So then I will look the video, because from the first competition I don't had a video. And by the category 3, when the second time happened, I had a video, and it happens exactly when I touch to the whistle. So I say the command and I touch to the whistle, and he hear the sound when I touch my jacket. And because he's used to the sound when I touch, when I take the food out of the jacket, you understand, it's immediately before he become food, the sound, you understand?
Yes.
So he was thinking it's something, if the exercise is finished, he can come back to pick up his breath. So that then we worked on the last trainings. We worked on this a little bit, but this was also very funny how they look, and they look so surprised, like to stop them from doing something. So what are you doing? Hey, it's not the time for this now.
It's amazing how dogs are conditioned to this thing. Like you said, the conditioned part, because usually they actually probably do it without thinking. He heard the sound of you touching the jacket, and it's subconsciously the dog is like, oh, let me check what's going on in the back there. It's I think those things are amazing. If you manage to manipulate these kind of things in your advantage, that's when doing the right thing, I believe. Obviously, with a young dog like that, these things happen. But let me get to a point. Like, what was the most difficult moment for you in your career in a competition? The most difficult, doesn't matter with which dog, but the moment that you said like, oof.
With Max, by the search, to fix the search of Max, it was, I think 3 competitions or something, and he don't found the decoy. The 3 competitions, and I was struggling a lot to understand why this happened. And then we saw that we mostly do the search at last. Then one decoy takes already off the chute. We do one attack, and then we search. And then I had the idea that we don't search the decoy what he bite the last. And exactly this was the problem. He was always stuck on one guy who he searched the last, who he have bite the last. Then he was stuck on this smell, and that's how we fixed it. But this was a very, very difficult time where I was thinking, I had no plan or no idea why this happened, why he don't found the decoy.
Yep, these training little errors, let's say, because we can count this as a training error, is creating this kind of a system, the routine, and then in competition that routine is non-existent. It puts the dog on the wrong spot, right?
Yes, of course. Just follow, and I saw him on the competition. I looked the video 1,000 times, and he's searching, motivated, and searching, but he don't take the smell of this guy. And if he have the smell, he just follow maybe for 10 seconds, and then he immediately follow the other smell again.
Yeah.
And it took some time until I understand what was the problem or had an idea of what to change, but then it works.
I remember seeing him the search in Romania. The moment you sent him to search, I had never seen a dog accelerate so fast to go search. I thought my dog was intense in searching, like the acceleration, the speed at which he was circling around the field. Like, you almost think like the dog that goes so fast he cannot find. He's gonna lose some opportunities. He's gonna skip some corners or something. But actually, you did manage to fix that because, to me, that didn't look like a dog that had such problems. So for listeners and viewers who might be considering getting into mondioring, what advice would you give them? Are there common things they should do to start with, and common mistakes you see beginners make? How can people avoid them? Let's start with, what advice would you give newcomers in mondioring?
I would give the advice to just visit a group even before they start mondioring or before they take the dog. Start to visit a group, and to become into it, to see the exercises, to maybe help on the field, to do the horn and or to give the apport and to become in the routine and in the atmosphere of the group. And then, so they are good prepared then, because mondioring is a team sport and alone you can do nothing. When you don't feel comfortable or when you go there with the believing, I come from another sport and now I go there and I want to be same good or prove something, it don't work because it's a different sport. And when you are an athlete and you are winner in Olympia by swimming or whatever, you cannot go to box with Mike Tyson. It will not work. It's crazy. Not because this person is shit, then it's a perfect athlete, but in another way.
Yep.
And so if somebody come from IGP and be very, very successful, then mondioring is different. The same in the opposite way. When somebody from mondioring go to IGP or to PSA or whatever, it is different. So you cannot accept that you will from beginning have the same success or the same level and start in the same level. You must always start like a beginner and also have the mindset of the beginner. Be open, listen, ask questions immediately, 1 time, 2 time, 5 times, then until it becomes clear for yourself.
Yes, I have like an abbreviation, 3-letter abbreviation is CHH. It's be curious, be honest, and be humble.
Yes,
those are the 3 keys for me. Like when I meet people that want to get into mondioring, or when I'm talking to people about it, I mention that always: curiosity, honesty, and humility. It's very, very important, especially when you are coming in a training group as a new member. I think curiosity, as you have mentioned also before, curiosity is one of the most important things, because you need
because
to
when you are
understand.
curious, you are cooperative, you are open to listen, you are open for critique. But when you go with the mindset you want to prove it and when you want to do it, then you are not able to take critique. That somebody say, hey, but this is not good in this way, because you want still to have the feeling that everything what you do is good. But when you are curious and when you are open-minded, then you just listen, you take it. When you analyze and it's not logic for you, then you ask, but why I think in this way, somehow it doesn't fit. Can you explain me deeper? Some people, I don't say that everybody is right, so some people speak bullshit, you understand? So when you think and it's not logic and this guy cannot explain, then you know that it's bullshit, you understand? Because when somebody speak about something and cannot explain it, it must be bullshit. Understand?
Correct.
Because
I
if
agree.
it's not bullshit, when I speak about something, I can explain everything. That is how I prove it to me that I know it. So first, when I have a thought, I first explain it to myself. And if I'm able to explain it to myself in a different way, or to give an example, then I will explain it to somebody else. I don't just take words and some sentences and speak and will say some bullshit. And then somebody say me why, and I say, because I say it. It's not the reason. You must have the knowledge behind to explain it. Understand why it is like this.
Yeah, then you have also the other extreme. On the other side of the spectrum, the guys with their word salads and they make it sound like they just got out of the dog training university that doesn't exist, because there's no university for dog training. And make it sound sexy and scientific and beautiful. And normally my first reaction is like, show me your dog.
Yes.
You can explain it all good and well, but show me your dog.
Yes,
and then to get back, what you do. Yeah, exactly. To get back to what you said before, you only understand something really well if you can explain it to a 5-year-old child.
Yes. You must be able to explain it. Of course, you have some things, or some very, very, very successful people. They are successful because they work, they know what they do. They also know for themselves why they do it, but they are not able to explain it.
Yep.
You understand? They just know why and what. You understand?
Yep.
But it's difficult for them to explain because of what.
Those are instinct trainers, feeling trainers also.
Yes, you have all of these people. But as you say, these people are very, very good. They have success. They can train their dog, but it's difficult for them to teach you the knowledge, to give you the knowledge, because they are not able to explain.
Yes.
So that's just to fix it, that not somebody say the people are shit, what cannot explain. No. You have all those other people who are very good, because for themselves they know, and they know also why, but they are not able to explain because they miss the knowledge for them. I don't know.
Or they don't
To,
feel comfortable speaking
yes,
it,
they
like,
don't feel comfortable to say it. They don't
yeah,
want to discuss or whatever.
yes, I
So
agree.
you have different.
100% agreed. To come back now to my question, we are surfing away a little bit. To go back to the beginners, what are the common mistakes you see beginners make, and what can they do to avoid them?
Common mistake for beginners make, I see, is to put the dog too fast in too high drive. So to start too fast to reward with the ball. Understand? If to put, so you can play with your dog, it's no problem. But it's different to just play with the dog or to take the ball or the tag as a reward for positions, for example. That's two different things. Then when I just say come, my dog come, and I give him the tag and I start to play with him, it's
Yep.
different than I throw it and reward him by the positions for it. So when they start to early for it, they create a big expectation, and this expectation always become bigger and bigger. Later they can have problems of control.
Yes, they become sloppy in their
Yes,
positioning or in whatever you. Yes, I agree.
yes.
High drive
This high
usually
drive
make.
too early is very, very dangerous. So they
Yeah.
it creates a lot of problems. What you struggle later a lot, and you just try to handle it. To fix it is never to
Yes.
fix it 100% is not possible anymore. You just can try to handle it.
Yeah. Management.
Yeah,
After when it's screwed up, the only thing you can do is management.
yeah.
What's your opinion on people going to train with already from the beginning, going to train with several people, several trainers? How do you stand towards that? What is your opinion about that? I will first say my own opinion. I think people do too much switching of training styles or methodology, let's call it methods, techniques. I believe people should learn the foundations in one place. What do you think about that?
I think that the people, when they go to train, when they start to train mondioring, that's what I say to the people who come to me. I don't want to be the trainer. You understand? They should learn everything. You understand? And
Yes.
you understand what I mean? So the focus is not to go to somebody. This guy will put somebody on your dog or do something with your dog, and then you go in competition. And if it's something not good, then we look on the points, and then we put again something on the dog, and then you again go on. And this guy, every time when he goes home, he switch off his head, and up to the next training, he don't think about nothing. This is not good. You always should start with the motivation. I want to be the guy who know everything, how to handle and how to train my dog, what my dog needs. And when you have a basic by one guy, then you can go to different people and adapt. You understand?
Yep.
Because you already have a basic, that nobody can destroy it, and then you adapt your knowledge. Maybe you see something what is good, maybe not. Maybe you see nothing what is good, and you don't take nothing. Maybe you see many things by other groups, and then you can adapt it. But first of all, don't become lazy, or don't start the sport lazy to say, okay, I go to this guy, he will do it, and I go on the competition, and if I win, I will say I was it, and then
Yes.
if I
Exactly.
lose, I will knock on his door and they say, hey, look, we have to work on something. Then
Yes.
it's
So basically, be
everybody is
involved. You
yes,
have to be involved in the training of your dog.
yes, yes,
Don't let other people train your dog for you.
yes.
What's one thing you wish that people understood more about our sport?
That is a sport.
Of course, but
Yeah.
like for the general public, what like me, for example, I would like to people to understand more that our dogs are not aggressive. For example, that we
Yes,
have
that's
that we have balanced dogs that are amazingly obedient, that can thrive in social settings, in wherever you go, you can go with them without having shame. But for you, what is one of the things that you would like that people understood better about our sport?
I would say not directly about our sport, about sports general. I would like that the people understand that this is something what the dog needs, because we live in a different time. The dogs, we cannot use the dogs anymore for what they are breed. It's not
Yes.
every second house who have 300 sheep or something. So we cannot use the dogs for what they are breed anymore that much. We must do something else. We must give them an alternative for the dogs. And then, so for every dog owner, it's important to do some kind of sport or to make their own plan system, what they want to train, how they want to live with the dog, understand? Give him exercise, to give him a job or something that I would like from the people.
Where do you see the future of mondioring and dog sports in general, let's say? Are there any trends or changes that you are thinking about that either you're excited about or you're worried about?
I'm not worried because I believe that difficult time come and go, but the right thing will still stay, you understand? And the right people still will stay and do that what is right. So bad times come and go. So when we have a trend that people who are living in the city have, I don't know, kangals, big dogs, you understand? Then this trend will fix. So this problem will be fixed by them own. They will recognize that this is not a good idea. So and this will become less popular again. Same like the Malinois, the breed, it becomes very popular by people because of some movies. They put Malinois in it, so everybody wants to have a Malinois because of John Wick or whatever. These problems, it's not good for the dogs, but I think we cannot change it. This trend will happen and it will fix. It will be fixed on his own.
Yes. But then how do you see the future of mondioring and dog sports?
Future of mondioring and dog sports, I see good. I think in Austria we had a lot of problems in the last year. People want to stop the dog sport because dog bite a woman and this woman died. It's not good. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Terrible
Yes.
that this happened, but it's an accident. It's an accident, and we
But
had a
what
really
this?
tricky.
Sorry. Continue. Sorry.
It was a very tricky time for the dog sport in Austria because the people first pointed the finger on the dog sport. But I think the people realize in the first moment, in the first reaction, they say, okay, they search something. What is their reason? Understand? But it cannot do something to the dog sport, I think, because people who can think realistic, they know it's not about the dog sport. And I think it will become always more and more popular to do dog sport. Because with things like this, we are pushed to show that our dogs are not aggressive and that we do that. You understand? In Austria, we have a lot of people who make a demonstration. Everybody can come. It's open, you understand? And they can look what we do. We let the dog bite on the shoot. We make an object. We make an upward. We make the jump. And the dog can be pet by everybody. So this is, I think, something what happened because of something terrible, what is good for the dog sport. Because we make more publicity, you understand, to show what is the right thing, to show the reality. So I think in Austria and in the whole world, the dog sport will become very famous if it becomes like in Austria everywhere.
Let's hope so. I remember the time now in this last year that there was this whole situation, let's say, in Austria with this. I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was a dog that bit and then wrongfully was the dog sport blamed. The dog apparently had nothing to do with dog sports. Is that correct?
Yes, it was. They just go to a dog school and they played with the dog with a sleeve, not with a sleeve, with a tag. And the trainer said the dog is not for dog sport, for IGP or something. You understand? And that was it. And they took some pictures of this first training, first test, or how to call it. And they say, oh, look, the dog was trained to bite or something. The dog will not kill somebody because he bite in a tag of 20 centimeters.
Of course.
Just a piece of material. But yeah, the media know the first impulse and they want to do what is right for the community and what the people would like, the civilizations. But later, it becomes good.
I actually I actually contributed to helping show in Austria that the mondioring dogs specifically are not necessarily aggressive. I sent to some people in Austria some media about some videos and pictures of my previous dog, the one that died. That was my mondioring dog, and every Friday we did therapy with people with physical and mental disabilities. And I think that's more than enough proof to show that aggression, it's a part of nature. Everybody has some aggression in them, but that doesn't mean you are aggressive. Aggression and aggressiveness, it's much different, right? There's two separate things.
In Austria, the also was very motivated, so I can say the name. It was Stefan Bittner and Christoph Kerschner and Klaus, and everybody make nice videos and nice things to show the people that it's not bad in a sense that the sport is, the dogs are calm. I also make a video where I do the object with a little sleep with Rasputin. He was, I think, 5 months or something. And my children was running around. My daughter had a cat in the arm, then holding and was running around by the dog, and the dog just was looking his toy and want his toy. Yeah, but I said, because with these videos, we can show that is not how they think or how they believe. And when somebody have nothing to do with dogs, of course, he believe the media, what they say. But this is also the reason when the media blame us, it's also what motivate us to make these videos like this to show. And this is again the good part.
And this is what we have to do, Anel.
Yes,
we
yes.
cannot just sit in the corner quiet.
Yes, of course, we should keep doing it. Because we should keep doing it even when nothing happened. And then not only when something happened, when we become attacked, then we protect us. And then we also should preventive, just do it. Just
I was
open
just
and
going to say
involve.
that instead of being defensive, be preventive.
Yes.
That's a nice quote to put on a t-shirt. Quotes by Anel Dzafic. And so, Anel, are there any areas of mondioring or dog sports that you'd like to see change or improve?
I don't know. Because I'm not so much into other sports.
Okay, then focus on mondioring. Is there, what things, if you had the power to change or to add, what would you add or change about mondioring?
About mondioring, I would change, I think, flea attacks. I think the test is not that big and very dangerous. So I think if you do a second stick attack and a second accessory, and one of these is stopped. So we have 2 stick attacks and 2 accessories, and one of these is stopped. That would be much, much better, I think, for the sport and for the decoys also.
Yes, I agree. The danger is not worth the test because it's pretty straightforward. Running after, I think, doing a stopped attack on a frontal attack is actually more demanding than on a fleeing bad guy, let's say. And the risk is just way, way higher in a flea attack than in a frontal. This is also something you see in Belgian ring. There is no flea attack. The stopped attack is done on an accessory attack, actually. I totally agree with you. I also think that there could be room for some quality improvements when it comes to judging standards, or let's say generalization of judging standards. So we don't go the same way as IGP, that you like some judges want to see this, other judges want to see that. I mean, point-wise, the rules are the rules, and obviously some judges interpret it in one way, other judges interpret it in another way. I'm not criticizing whatsoever because I understand that's what it happens when the rules are a written text, open for debate or open for interpretation, right? So I would like that, and I also would like to see from the governing bodies, I would like to see more investment, not only monetary, but like investment in logistics for big trials, for world championships, teaching moments for decoys, teaching moments for judges. What do you think about this?
I think it will be a good idea that we don't forget what it is about, or that we don't lose the focus, and that we don't, in one competition you test the training, in the other competition you have a judge who tests the dog. Understand? What we do? Understand? What are we doing exactly? And then we want to see which dog has a good quality. And then, of course, we also in the sport we need to count points so we can make it different between a good handler, a good dog, or a bad dog, and also between a good training and a bad training. So I think the judges should more speak with each other to have the same goal, what they want to see, what they want to judge, what we want to select, not to kind of take points for, or to create exercises what are, I don't know. When you make an object, for example, when the judge say, okay, let's do it very slowly, you just pass, or the decoys have this idea, and the judge say, okay, it's nice. So what we test? We don't test the dog. we just test if the dog can wait. You understand? You just see this. The dog is standing there and waiting. Okay. But you don't, you understand? The decoys go there. If the dog go to bite, we just let him bite and go away. So where is the selection? What we select? So we just look for if the dog can wait or not wait, and nothing else. So this is one example, just what I would like to be different. That all exercises should be difficult for the dog for his to see if it's a brave dog, this is a good dog, and not to test if he can wait or not. We have the 1 minute. That's this.
Yes, that's correct. So adding to that, we have these ideas, obviously, but in general, what I would like to see myself as well is that there's more attention given to the sport. In our case, it's to mondioring, and I'm trying, obviously, with the DogSportPlanet to get a little bit more eyes and a little bit more attention to our sport and other sports as well, because we're not only a mondioring platform. We like all kinds of dog sports. I believe there should be, obviously this goes both ways, because as well as the competitors themselves or the participants themselves, they have to showcase themselves and showcase their dogs. But also, if we could put it more in the mainstream, I would really, really, really appreciate if we could find a way to put dog sports in a mainstream channel instead of because now I feel like mondioring is a little obscure sport that is being done in a field somewhere around the corner where nobody is watching. And I would like to see more eyeballs on the sport.
Yes, I would also wish to that it becomes more public and bigger. If in monitoring it's more difficult than IGP because the program is longer, you cannot have that much dogs and stuff in a world championship. So you have these few days and the 50 dogs. Difficult to make it more, but
Yes.
it's possible. I'm sure it's possible. If somebody wants, the people want and are motivated, they will find a way how they can make it bigger. Of course, one solution is when we have more people in monitoring to don't do the category 1 and 2 on the world championships. So we have 5 days. This could be one solution when it becomes bigger, but first we must make it more public, how you try it. I like the idea. That's also why I do the podcast. So let's make it famous.
Another question I have for you. What are some of the up-and-comers or people in the mondioring industry that you have been surprised by or you are admiring lately? Is there any trend that you are seeing, some country that's on the way up? Norway has been doing good. In these last couple of events was FMBB Romania. They did extremely well in the teams. FMBB Italy as well had beautiful results there. We see Israel is on the coming up, on the up and come. Italy as well. Mr. Corradini has now become champion as well over there. Alexa has been doing really good at the FCI. What do you think about this evolution in the world of mondioring? Which are some of the countries that you have an eye on?
I think it's not a country what you can look at. I think it's the competitors themselves who have the work and who work for it. I believe it's the motivation and the effort what the people put. Motivation is big. Doesn't matter which reason. Then the people you will see this work. It will pay off. It doesn't matter if it's by Ran Levy, his motivation, what it is, we don't know, but it works good. So he's already how many times? 3 times?
3 times, yes.
He win 2 times FMBB, I think, and 1 time FCI. Okay. So
yes.
So the people, if they are motivated, they will have success, and I'm happy for them. So it's not about the countries. I think it's too small. Monitoring is still too small that you can count it in countries. And I think it's still the people themselves. If you have in a country one guy who is motivated, like in Hungary, Attila, for example, is motivated, I think he can do very well, very good. And so you have in all the countries, you have some people who are motivated, and I believe we will see them on the podium.
Yes. I asked that question because if you look back on history from the beginning of mondioring, let's say, it's very often been very specific countries that had won the world title. Obviously, this also is due to mondioring exporting to the other countries at a later stage. This is more than obvious, but you saw very often Switzerland, France, Belgium. Obviously, we have Austria that has 4 plus one, plus one, plus one, 7 world titles in the last 10 years, 12 years, something like that. Yeah, 10 years. Yeah, 2014, I think it was.
2014, it was Nicoletta. Yeah.
Yes, Nicoletta. Yes, exactly. And then after that, Austria has reigned supreme.
Oh, I think longer. Before it was Klaus with Kersa.
Oh, yeah.
Longer.
Yeah, so
10 years.
yes. It's a little more than 10 years, yes. But it's been very Austria dominant for the last 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking, because I do believe there's a slight touch of culture, but not about the countries, but about training culture, the motivation for the dog sport itself, based on the culture of the training culture of the country.
Yes, the one reason what I think why Austria was so successful or is successful is that they start focused on the mondioring program. The Belgian people, the French people, they come out of the French ring, Belgian ring, and they have this with them. Yes, and maybe this makes some problems in the mondioring program. The other countries who immediately start the sport and they start for this program, yes, and they have nothing but manipulate them from other sports. Maybe this was the reason why for the other countries it becomes easier or easy to become also very successful.
Yes. I have now one very specific question. It's a little bit off topic and on topic at the same time. I would like to ask you to make a suggestion. Who would you, Anel Dzafic, like to see on this podcast?
I would like to see Klaus on this podcast.
Okay, that's a good suggestion. Yes. I've also thought about the one and only, the queen of mondioring, to have her on, and I will try to reach out to her and have her on, because that would be she is, until now, there's nobody that comes close to her. A little bit, but when it's talked about titles and something like that, but performance-wise, etc., she is the one and only. Yes,
the one and
undefeated, undisputed. Martina Praunias. I would love to have her on here, because she will always be the queen of mondioring for me. So that's, I hope that maybe you can do in a good word for me.
Yes,
to have her on. That would be really, really nice. So thank you so much, Anel, for joining us and sharing your ideas, your wisdom, experience, and your stories. Before we sign off, I want to touch on one thing. You are doing seminars, you are available for seminars and workshops, training sessions, etc. How do people reach out to you to book you for a seminar, for a training weekend? Please give us the platforms you're on, or maybe the website you have. Where can people reach you?
My website is powerdog.com, and on Facebook, Instagram, just text me if somebody is interested or want some tips, advices. It's no problem. With some people, I also do online sessions for the first few times. If they are far away or something, just send a message and we will do something.
I want to thank you again for this. Before I do my outro speech, do you have any last words for our audience, for our listeners and viewers? Go ahead.
Yes, I want, first of all, thank you that I'm the first with who you do the podcast, and I hope the people will like it. Yes, I'm curious who will be the next by you, who we will see.
Surprise. That's a surprise.
Yeah. Surprise is always good. Yes, I hope the people will like it. Thank you again, and let's say.
Okay, then. I would like to thank you to all our listeners for tuning into our first episode, the historical first episode of the DogSportPlanet podcast. If you enjoyed this conversation, please subscribe, share, and leave a review in comments, anywhere you would like. Stay tuned for more episodes with other incredible figures in the dog sports world. This was DogSportPlanet podcast.